Okay, just giving a quick update on the box that I'm taking apart. I started taking off the supports for the side of the box, as you can see. And I'll show you what I did actually. That side's done. This side is done. And this is why you take them off. All this rust. I mean, it's just terrible. That was half of the reason I was taking them off, and I'll tell you the other half in a second here. But I wanted to show you how I am taking them off. And here you go. As you can see, there's little drill points here. So I've been drilling them out. Now, that's not always the most fun task, but I found kind of an easy way to do this. As you can see, here is the side right here, the support. And of course, it's all rotted inside. Like I said, the one reason that I really wanted to get these off of here was because the side, if you look at the side, this one isn't so bad, but one of them is pretty bad. But if you look at the edge right here, it actually gets thinner. The material is really rotting away. Plus, rust, so much rust was getting in here, it would pucker these out, and you could never get that rust out of there. There's no way unless you acid dipped it. And then you have to make sure you get all the acid out. So I decided that I would just take them off, and I would blast these out. And I'm probably going to replace, let's just say 3/4 of an inch of these. I'm going to keep this curve in there, cut this back, say 3/8 of an inch from here, and then I'm going to weld a piece in here. That's what I'm thinking I'm going to do, because if you look, this edge is so chopped up and thin and crappy that I thought it'll be nice to have a nice smooth straight edge here, nice clean metal there. I can seal it the way I want to. So that's that. Now I know, well, I've seen where you can actually buy these. You know, I think they're like 80 bucks at this time. So here's the other ones too. Like 80 bucks. Well, you have $320 in just these things, when mine really aren't that bad. So I had a little problem here on each one of those where the box hinge or the bed or the hinge was for the tailgate. Otherwise, I don't think this is that bad. So what I'm doing, I'm actually taking a drill bit. It's not a very big drill bit. It's just, you know, something like that. I don't exactly know what size this is, but I've been trying to find where the dimples are, and I'll just drill halfway through. So I'll just drill through this material and all the way up. You see, there's always one hidden right up in here. So I do that. I don't chase it with a bigger drill bit, which you could do. I was doing that at first, but I found that it really didn't matter. And then on this side, there were screws that I had to cut off because the nut on the other side was so rotted that I couldn't get a socket on there very well. Plus, this was a flathead screw, which was hard to hold and do all yourself. So anyway, there's also spot welds along here. Some of them are really close to the drilled hole. So what I did is I take my chisel and I managed to grind my chisel a little bit different. So if you can see my chisel, I have kind of a flat edge right here and kind of a chamfered edge over here. So I keep that flat edge up against the box. So what I'm going to distort is this. I don't want to distort the box as much as, you know, I know I'm going to go over it, make sure it's straight, but I don't want to distort the box. I want to distort this because I can straighten this on the bench. And then if you can't find, like this side here, I can't find all the dimples because of this. So I'll just take this chisel, tap it in there until I can see where that spot weld is, and then I'll just drill it and go all the way up. The other thing you have to do is when you come up to the top here, this is welded across the top here. So I'll just take my cutoff wheel and I'll just cut the weld, is all I'm doing. Just cut the weld. So then that leaves this intact. And I don't care if I cut a little bit of this here, but I want to keep that round thing good. This I can always add to with ease. So I'll just cut that across there. And these things will fall right out after you tap on them a little bit. So that's what I did. That's what I'm doing. That definitely takes the support out of the side of the bed. So, I mean, if you were worried, you could put supports across the top, which I'm not, because I'm going to be replacing this. And when I replace this, this will start to square this up. I may put supports on the top, X supports for when I take it to have it blasted. So, but that's not right now, so I'm not too worried about it. The only reason I'd have supports is not necessarily to keep it square, it's just to keep it taut enough that it's not going to collapse. That's the only thing. So anyway, that's the box so far. I'm going to continue on, and then we'll see what I get done after that. Yeah, I'll just leave it there, and that'll be it. Now I finally got this support removed. Then I went ahead and took off the back, or actually it's the front of the box. I took that panel off. And the reason I did that, I stated earlier, here it is, right here. And somebody had actually welded on it. Right here you can see the weld all the way down. I would assume that this rotted off, and then somebody added some material to it to make it, it's all along, you can barely see that, I guess, that weld right there, but it probably rotted off. Somebody added some material to that. And what also rotted off would be this front frame channel here. That is right here. And you can see that the frame is this, you know, is this high. And when you get down here, you can barely see that this channel had rotted out right through here. And so I assume that it was pretty bad all the way, because what they ended up doing was replacing the top section of the C channel with angle iron here, or a bent channel, probably is what it really is, a bent piece of metal here. They welded this in so that front panel had a place to be welded to, which would be here, and they welded all along here. And sealed up that, got rid of the rot from the holes anyway. Obviously the rot was probably still, some of it was there, but that's what they had to do. And that all goes with why this box on the front here is all jagged and stuff. They probably took a torch and they probably cut this away, and then they added some metal in to that channel and kind of replaced it that way. So that left me to obviously need to replace that, and that's what I'm going to do. But I kind of wanted to explain how this box was, and in order to get this all apart, somebody had actually welded under the floor on on that piece that they put in here. I think normally it would have probably been just spot welded like it is from here to this part of the frame. This all, of course, needs to be cleaned up, fixed or whatever. I've got some ideas that I'm not sure what got some ideas that I'm not sure that I'm going to pursue or not. I think I'm going to, but I have to see what is available. So that is why I took that piece off. And you can see the basic construction of this is pretty simple. There's just a square frame around and the box sides and the floor and the ends. That's it. There's nothing really to it. But what I'm most concerned with now is this channel, which is a bent formed almost like a C channel or U channel, going to this bedside. In between there is rust that looks probably like this, which means I need to separate these two so I can get that rust out of there, because I don't want to have to go through all this work and then have a rust line coming through right here. The other thing that I noticed, I took off, I don't know, this piece here. This piece was some skirting that went along the bottom of this channel. And I noticed that there's some metal there that looks like it's wrapped around it, which leads me to believe that that skirting then went along the bottom here. That's a guess because it wasn't on this truck, so I'm thinking that's where it is. And unfortunately, I don't have any vehicles like this around my area that I can go quickly look at that says, oh yeah, that's original or not. I believe it is, so I think I'm going to add that in there too. Because like I said, although this is going to be a hot rod, street rod type thing, I want to keep it, I want to keep that original type of flavor with it. So the other thing is, you know, the seams between the two floor panels is going to end up having the same problem. There's going to be, in this inch here, or 3/4 of an inch, there's going to be rust underneath there. And that is going to be a problem, so I have to peel that all apart. I'm working on trying to figure out how to get a different bed. I don't want the wood one. I have nothing against the wood one. I think they look good, but I just think everybody does it. So I want to maintain the originality of this truck by keeping a steel floor in it. So I probably said that many times, and I'll probably say it many more. But that's where I'm at so far. That's the latest addition here. You can see that the floor needs some work. I'm going to be replacing these channels here too. They're just angle iron. So, and then I got to figure out what I'm going to do here. So that's going to be for the next time, and we'll see where I can, if what's in my mind is going to work. So that's what we have so far. Thanks for watching.